and welcome back to Football Talk, the podcast with myself, Dave, and ever-present presenter, Josh.
Yeah, I've had a good run of form today. I've been picked by the manager a lot of times. I'm here. Yeah. I'm here again, ever-present.
If this was Provo, you'd be on like the highest blue-up arrow, like on good
really?
Form.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I reckon. Yeah,
but
yeah,
fatigue's not setting in. I'm all right.
Yeah, I think you're doing okay. You know, the Christmas break I think helped where we didn't have to do it over I was going to say WebEx. It's not work, Dave. This isn't work.
WebEx. Whoa.
Oh yeah, that's what we use. Yeah, fancy. So,
yeah.
But yeah, so obviously, just before we get going, I just want to say, if you want to follow us on Twitter, it's all in the description below. There's a link to Football Talk where we're at Football Talk. But Josh,
no A in football.
There's no A in football. You can also link into Josh on Twitter, myself on Twitter, and you can find us, if you're listening on YouTube, we're also on SoundCloud, so you can download and listen to us on the go. And if you're on SoundCloud, you can listen to us on YouTube if you're ever at your computer and want to join in with the WIKI files properly, because we put it all up on screen for everyone to see, which obviously you can't get on SoundCloud. So now, I've done the little plug at the beginning, which is pretty new. This is what we've got in store for you today. We've got a bit of football news like normal that we go through, chatting what's going to happen about. Then we've got Josh's, or the little review of the FA Cup games in there as well. Josh's got a quiz. We're back to Josh being the quiz master. Then it's the WIKI files, where I'm going to give Josh what I now regrettably think is a very easy WIKI files. We've got some transfer reviews, transfer chat, and then on to quiz answers and the outro. So that's what's in store for everybody today. So without further ado, Josh, take away the news.
Son's coming back. Sorry, South Korea. Heung-min Son is coming back, but it linked in because we're talking about my fatigue. I'm just a lot of games this season.
He's going to be fatigued,
because he's done. I'm thinking I'd probably want to give him a bit of a rest, but it's nice to see that Spurs are back on the, but actually have some attacker and forward who can do something. Because
chatting about Son as
Fernando
well.
Llorente has been,
I think he's one of those players that for his national team he would run his heart out as well. He'd play all the games as much as he could and proper go for it. So
like when David Beckham was captain, he just used to absolutely pelt out, didn't he?
Exactly,
used to just headless chicken it.
Yeah,
and linking that,
good
Beckham, that was lovely. That was beautiful. We have to take up a 10% stake in Salford City.
Yes, do you reckon potential feeder clubs for Inter Miami FC or whatever they're going to be called? Like across the pond feeder clubs?
I hadn't even gone. I was more thinking how much the documentary makers will be absolutely just wanking themselves stupid over Beckham getting involved.
Wow, that as well, yeah.
Yeah.
What a
have you watched
way
any of the? Yeah. Sorry, explicit on the podcast. Then have you Salford's documentaries?
I watched I think I've watched it. Oh yeah, I think obviously the only one I think I missed was when they did like a live FA Cup game as part of it. I think they did that. Didn't they do that as part of the documentary? But I think, I'm pretty sure. When was the last one come out? Or have they done a recent one since I've been here?
No, I don't think there's been a recent one. I think it was about a year ago. But they're flying high in the National League, set to could potentially be a League 2 club next year. So he wants to get his little greasy mitts involved.
Yeah. Are they still buying their way to... obviously I don't really know the National League that well, but everyone says like their wage bill is much higher than everybody else's.
Yeah. It's I don't think they're going to be a very popular side. As is the way when money gets involved and someone starts buying it, you kind of it loses that kind of personal touch. But I always think if I was to become like a billionaire, kind of like let's say I won Euro Million, I think you know what, I'd buy Folkestone Victor, see what I could do.
Really?
You have that dream? You ever had a...
Yeah, I've had that dream, but I've also got a wife who would probably say that's stupid.
Yeah, but if you're winning 100 million, come on. I mean, how much is it going to take to bankroll Folkestone Victor to get to League 2 football and then you go, you know what, I'm out?
I think it's more than you think, Josh. I think it's more because you've got to pay players all the way through it, so it's not just the stake going into it. But
I mean, the club's going to generate its own revenue. I mean, I'm an accountant by trade. I'd try and get me to be a successful business, but I'd obviously bankroll it somewhat. But I'd still want to kind of generate additional kind of commercial revenues. Which, intriguingly, I read an article.
What commercial revenues?
No. But as it builds up, you get something. But you want to build it as it goes. You don't leave it stagnating, much like Mike Ashley has with
True.
with Newcastle. How we like increased in like last 10 years, and their commercial revenue has increased by absolutely nothing. I think it's gone up by like
112%.
600,000 or something.
It's 112%. I think.
Yeah.
It's something stupid.
Yeah.
They made more money than Liverpool over the same period.
Yeah. No, this is the fact that they've commercial revenue. Newcastle have done absolutely nothing because they've just plastered Sports Direct everywhere. They haven't got any additional marketing revenue coming in because they haven't really sought outside influences. It's just Mike Ashley just getting advertising for free.
Yeah. Okay. Got you. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I still don't think it. I don't think. What did you say you win? 100 million. Yeah, 100 million. That's probably enough to. That's probably enough to bankroll Folkes and Invicta to League 2. But
yeah,
I don't. I don't know. You need a new stadium. That would cost a load of money. The one thing I guess I could say is that Netflix paid to make a documentary of Sunderland when they had back-to-back relegations, so they'd probably get involved with Folkes and Invicta on the up.
Maybe, you've got to tap into all those resources. But enough about Folkes and Invicta.
yeah, that's a tangent.
100 million's going to bring them league football. What else has happened in the news this week for you, Dave?
We bang on about him a lot on this podcast, but Sancho is still doing bits, isn't he? Out in Germany, 2 more assists for those that know. Like there's people out there that know I like my European football, and keeping you up to date. Sancho getting 2 more assists as Dortmund absolutely hammered Hanover. They just look. I mean, are you scared as a Spurs fan? Because they look pretty unstoppable, Dortmund at the moment.
Oh, are we playing them in the Champions League? Yeah, massively scared because we've got no forwards whatsoever to offset. I mean, because we've had a couple of games now where we've had no front line, and it's just we've got coming back to us. It's like, oh, for God's sakes, we don't have an outlet, and it's been a bit tetchy recently. So I am nervous because I fear that our season could absolutely end by the end of the Champions League, out of the FA Cup, and out of the League Cup. Obviously, that's for dead cert, and then struggling for top. And not enjoying football at the moment.
It is an interesting one. It's an interesting point as a Spurs fan to be like that. I think we've got a couple of Spurs fans that listen, so I'd be interested to get a bit more of a feel for what other Spurs fans think, other than just Josh. Like, are you all a bit sceptical about this Dortmund game? Are you all a bit negative at the moment because you're out, lost the League Cup, and the FA Cup, could be over, and top 4's on a bit on the wane? So that's an interesting thing to let us know about. And then sticking with European football, obviously. I tweeted about this. It can't get any worse for him, Josh, could it? Thierry Henry?
No, it couldn't get any worse for Thierry, apart from he has now been replaced by the person he replaced because he was that bad. You think you've had it bad, you're like, oh, right, get out, John M. You're not good enough. Thierry, come in. Shit. You're nowhere near as good. I'm going back. The grass is not greener.
Do you reckon they just went like the chairman went to his phone and he was like, right, recently dialed numbers, Henry. I can't just hire him. I fired him. Who did I call before him? Jardine. That'll do. Yeah, get him on the phone.
Yeah. Yeah, he knows his way around the stadium. It's that kind of, he's familiar, isn't it?
They kept his name badge for the manager's door, so they just have to slide that back in when they push Henry's one out.
Yeah, security passes already. Yeah.
Anyway, what about you? Anything else?
His email account hadn't been deactivated.
No, his emails. Yeah. He's still been getting them. They've been CCing him into every email just so he knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mentioned it earlier. The Carabao Cup final has been decided. Man City will be playing Chelsea. Obviously, Man City tie was foregone conclusion, but I did laugh at how serious the lineup was that Man City put out. It's like, come on, Pep, just ease off a little bit. No, I'm playing Aguero, I'm playing Mahrez, I'm playing I think Silva. It's like, yeah, well, that's that done. But I mean, there's a bit better showing for Burton, but it was never in doubt. But the other leg was a little bit more close to call, and Spurs faltered at penalties, and I could see it happening. And and as soon as Eric Dyer was going to take a penalty, I was like, and Martin Tyler's mentioning how he was the World Cup hero. I was like, it wasn't a great penalty at the World Cup. It wasn't untouchable. He got some good hands to it, and I was like, oh God, what's going to happen here? And skies it. But it's just the Spursy thing that every other year, the Carling Cup or Carabao Cup away goals, and obviously it comes to this season where this result would have taken Spurs through with away goals, but it's obviously the year it turns to no more extra time and away goals. But obviously it would have been different because Chelsea would have been playing for more. They wouldn't have just settled for that. But
I mean, predictions for the final?
I would say Man City. Man City have obviously they won yesterday 5-0. Since they lost to Leicester, have won all their matches with an aggregate score of 33, 4 and 2 goals against. They're on a slight run of form at the moment.
Yeah.
So
I can't see past Man City.
Aware that. Yeah. No, I haven't seen where in the fixture schedule that kind of normally clear it out a bit for the final, but in case there was a big game before and after that might draw some attention. But yeah, I'd see Man City as winning this.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else in the news?
Just a little funny one. There was a video posted by Jorginho. He was videoing the person in front of him on a plane. The person in front of him was tweeting, or it was I think WhatsApping his mates, going, "I'm 99% sure that Jorginho Wijnaldum is sat behind me on a plane." It's like, wow, how meta is this? The person who we're tweeting about has posted on social media and got more kind of traction than you. It was if only you just Wijnaldum went, "It is me." Tapped him on the shoulder.
Oh, bless him. But yeah, a nice story. Anything else then in the news, or shall we move on?
No, I think the FA Cup games yesterday a little bit. Obviously, we had yesterday. There was a few big results, a few giant killings. Obviously,
Man United
went through.
Yeah.
Did you stay up? Did you watch?
Oh no, I was absolutely hammered. A little mate's leaving do, so I didn't stay up. I woke up and watched the highlights. My plan was to get drink casually throughout the evening and get in at 2 o'clock in the morning and then stay up and watch the game. What happened is I got absolutely obliterated and got in at 2 o'clock in the morning and went to bed. So yeah, but it was good. Yeah, good performance. Happy with it. Don't need to talk about too much. It was Friday's game.
I want to get your thoughts so quickly. Should Solskjaer be?
Should he be the manager? Yeah. I can't definitively say yes, I want him, but I also can't say no, because I mean, if he keeps this up, I always said if he gets top 4, then yeah, he's got to be given it as a go, because he's clearly got something right tactically. Yesterday on Friday, he looked like he'd got it. It looked like he had studied where Arsenal's problems were and actually took advantage. Like putting Lukaku on the right wing was incredible. It was such a good tactical decision. Yeah,
how bad is Arsenal defence? They make Lukaku look like Iniesta.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I saw a tweet saying to someone, "Oh, that's what's been Lukaku's problem for the past year. He's actually a playmaker." But yeah, so I can't say yes or no at the moment. I think if he gets top 4, that's always been my opinion that he gets it. I mean, he's doing himself a wonderful, prolonged job interview, isn't he? At the moment, 8 games,
absolutely,
8 games unbeaten.
Whether obviously English football remembers him for a pretty failed attempt at Cardiff, so
yeah, it's
it's still a Premier League side, but I personally I'm torn because I don't particularly United do well, and like seeing someone else be stronger linked to the job than Pochettino. So if Solskjaer is making the job his own, that's fine by me, because it takes the media circus away from our...
So I was told today after my football match, we've got one of my friends at football has a friend who works for the Premier League, and he's in charge of the Premier League marketing for the whole of Asia. So he's obviously very well handsome paid, I imagine. But he reported to my friend and said that the Pochettino deal to Man United is all sewn up for the end of the year. And he works for the Premier League.
I find that hard to believe.
Exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said. I find that very hard to believe. So there you go. Just a bit of a gossip. Pass that around your friends, everybody listening. Straight from Asia, and that bit of gossip for you. We're
Dave's got an ITK and in the know.
Oh, in the know.
Yeah.
We'll have an in the know football talk Twitter account before you know it.
Yeah. And so FA Cup, briefly cover some giant killings here because there was some interesting results. We have Everton and West Ham are the two kind of big losers. Some lovely from Millwall. Marcus Silva calling for VAR to be rolled out fully because obviously it's only, I think, the Premier League clubs at home they get VAR because of the facilities.
Yeah.
And I think Millwall's second goal would have been ruled out because it's
yeah,
handball,
it's
basically.
Handball.
Yeah. But I mean, I do love a kind of, I mean, last minute winner, giant killing. Yes, please, love it.
Yeah.
Wimbledon, well, it's not really last minute because they went 2-0, 3-0 up, I think.
Yeah.
West Ham clawed themselves back, but then they kind of sewed it up late on. Nice to see that, and West Ham just being West Ham, they can beat someone great and lose to someone awful. It's just a day in the life for West Ham fan, I think.
Yeah, I'd love to know what if Owen was watching that game, I'd love to know what emotions he went through. And I also bet Pellegrini, when they went 3-0 down, he's like, for God's sake, 3 substitutions at half time, and he brought on Lucas Perez and Anderson, who both scored. I bet he thought, I'm a fucking genius. I've sorted this.
Yeah,
I've got
here
this
we
game
go.
cracked. Here we go, yeah. And then, 4-2.
Yeah. Shout out to Shrewsbury, almost managed to do a giant killing. They went 2-0 up against Wolves, but Wolves managed to battle back, which is just a little. I mean, 93rd minute equaliser for Wolves, very tough to take for Shrewsbury, but you never know. They're getting a bit more money from the away, the second with the replay. So not all is not lost. It's not done yet. And a couple of the lower end matches, I want to mention Accrington versus Derby. This was a tale of 2 red cards for me. So we have Jackson Stanley, and I'll quickly mention the Acton boss. He says, I feel like packing in my job. It's almost cost him £250,000. The wrong decision from a referee. Who does he think he is? Premier League ref, and he thinks he can absolutely do this. I mean, the bloke's talking utter fucking nonsense.
Oh, he's a definite 2 bookings.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
There's no doubt about it. It's just Accrington were naive. The players naive to get Derby absolutely. That is a clever sending off because he stopped an almost certain goal.
Yeah.
Win. So it's just naivety from his player there, and unlucky. And the other one I wanted to mention was Doncaster versus Oldham. We have Doncaster winning 2-1, but it's a shout out to Peter Clark of Oldham. He stops a goal going. Like it was slotted, the player taking it around the keeper, slotted it home. He slides in, clears it offline. Tick in the good box. He scores a goal. Another tick in the good box. He then concedes a penalty. Let's write that one off. Bad box. He then gets sent off. Bad box. It's
really
like
bad box.
is he? Yeah, and then they lose. He's thinking, not my best day.
I don't know. It's an average day, isn't it? It all evens out.
Averages out, yeah. Just that. If it had been a draw in the end, you'd been like, oh, it's just, just a day at the office. Yeah. But yeah.
If it finished in a draw,
mixed day for him overall.
If it finished in a draw, he probably would have just thought that would have been a boring game without me, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If it was 0-0.
Yeah.
It was like,
people come pay to see me play. That was
for 63 minutes or whatever it was till he got sent off.
Yeah.
But
so that was kind of my whistle-stop tour of the FA Cup. Obviously, a few more matches went on, and a few more matches still to come. But we'll wrap it up next week. We'll see who's gone through and see who's left in. But that's as far as I want to take the FA Cup this week.
Excellent. Oh, yeah. Good.
All right.
Are you a fan of the FA Cup?
I don't mind the FA Cup. I think I like it for the kind of the giant killings, and I don't mind it I don't like it if I say being a fan of Spurs, I don't like it when they get drawn again. Play Crystal Palace this weekend, and it's like, oh, I can see that another couple of times this season. It doesn't interest me. I much prefer seeing us play against a lower league side and having something different.
Would you like a seeded system? So that there's always going to be a smaller club plays a bigger club, and there's a chance more. So there'd be more chances of giant killings, but likely that the bigger clubs would generally progress anyway.
I like it when you have, say, an Arsenal versus a Man United, because then one of the top 6 sides will go out.
Yeah. Okay.
So I do quite like that as a, but as a fan of my personal preference is to not see us until obviously it will end up. If you get to like latter stages, it's more likely it'll happen. But in the like third, fourth, fifth round, you're like, oh god, we've got a Premier League club here. This is not what I want to see. I want to see us against, as we did. I saw Spurs against Tranmere. That's what I kind of like to see.
Okay.
But yeah.
Cool. All right, well, we'll go from there. If there's anything else you think we've missed out about the FA Cup or general football news that you think we should be reporting or you want to report yourselves, let us know in the comments. So, Josh, it's Quiz Kamara time.
It is Chris Kamara, and it links in nicely because in the last 23 seasons, a team other than Man United, Man City, Liverpool and Arsenal and Chelsea FA Cup, how many times?
Oh, wow. Okay. Portsmouth won it.
Yes.
Wow. Sorry, is this the actual quiz, or have I interrupted you?
This is the quiz. Yeah,
Okay.
So I thought that you might get the teams reasonably quickly. So I'd like. So what I'm asking for, teams have won it. Then how far into the your memory you can go. So who won it? Then the matches. So who were their opponents in their match? What was the score? The scorers and the managers.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So we have say for example we have the Portsmouth match.
Yep.
You would need to name the score in that Portsmouth match, who they played against, who scored, and who was the manager. Now, I don't think it's not an overly difficult. It seems ominous without you knowing the amount of games you have to find. Do you want me to give you how many games you have to find?
Yeah.
How many winners there have been?
How many winners?
So there are only two. So
wow, okay.
you've named, yeah. Which makes you think, is it worth going for the FA Cup?
Yeah, very true. Right, so Portsmouth.
If you're not one of those top six, yeah.
The Portsmouth game. Okay. I think they played Chelsea.
Oh.
When they won it, or is that the one they lost? Because they had two finals.
They did not play Chelsea.
They had two finals very close to each other in the FA Cup. Because I watched one of them with our friend Kelvin, who's a Portsmouth fan.
Okay.
And Kevin Prince Boateng scored in that, and annoyingly I thought that was the final because I was going to nail it all. Harry Redknapp was the manager when Portsmouth won it, surely.
Correct.
Yeah, okay, so I've got the manager. Who did they play? Oh god, it's in my memory somewhere, it's got to be. This is a really hard quiz, by the way.
You reckon?
I think this is a
sorry,
really hard
Dave.
quiz. That's okay. We need to challenge every so often. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Arsenal.
Alright, well, so... No, you've got to think lower than that. So, okay, so do you remember the other winner of the... who was outside of...
What era are we talking?
Oh, this is the last seasons, but I'll give you a clue that this happened in the 2012-13 season.
Oh my god. FA Cup winner that wasn't Arsenal, Chelsea, or Man United?
Liverpool, Man United, or Man City. So basically, think of really shit sides who've won the FA Cup recently.
That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah.
Ponder it rather than have your brain tick over.
That's gonna have
and we'll move on to our next feature.
Yes, which is I need a wiki file. You've got a wiki file. Here comes a wiki file for you. Hey, right, Josh, you have a wiki file from me. Do you just want to give me the name straight away?
Let's have a look here. Ooh, off the top of my head, I do know it.
Okay.
It's Paul Konchesky.
It is Paul Konchesky. He's been picked for a reason that we'll get onto in a minute. But yeah, I mean, go through it for the people. Let's just quickly go through it.
Yeah, so you know what?
Let's go through it.
Yes. So go for it. So in 1997 to 2005, he was at Charlton Athletic for all but 150 league games. And I don't remember it being a loan, but had a loan to Spurs for a season. Just played 12 games, and he was very forgettable at Spurs. I forgot him. Then he gets a permanent transfer. He loves London because he then goes to West Ham to play for a couple of seasons, plays 60 games, bags a couple of goals. Still loves London because then he goes to Fulham for another few seasons, brags a couple, but then he cannot turn down. He is moving out of London, everybody. After being at Charlton, Tottenham, West Ham, Fulham, he's going to Liverpool. He's up to Liverpool for a season. This would have, I assume, maybe in the Kenny Dalglish era of Liverpool, because when they signed lots of shit English players, so he may have been around. Was he around with Downings, Andy Carroll?
He was signed in that era.
Yeah. Wasn't a hit. Played 15 games and was loaned to Nottingham Forest. And played 15 games there, so he just took a step down to the Championship, and then. I mean, he's forgotten about London altogether now. He's like, no, you know what? I've flown the nest of London. I don't need to see my mum and dad anymore. I'm going to the Midlands. I'm going to Leicester City. Plays. I mean, this is his second highest volume of clubs. He plays for 138 league games for Leicester City. This would have been Championship, maybe even League One, Championship and Premier League football. I think when they get to the Premier League, he drops back down again because he goes on loan to QPR for a season.
Yeah.
Then, he plays for Kent's only league club of Gillingham,
which I didn't know. Yeah.
Yeah. So he obviously he got loaned back to QPR. And was like, oh, this is what I love, London, the big city, the big smoke, love it. But it's not quite what I remembered. So I'm going to go to North Kent to Gillingham, and then no, I don't like Kent. I'm going to go to Essex and go play for Billericay. This must have been with Jamie O'Hara and
it was big money.
Jermaine Pennant play there as well, maybe.
Yeah, big money Billericay.
Big money Billericay, and then ends it right next to Lakeside, playing for East Thurrock United, which ended last year.
Yeah.
And Paul Konchesky, he must have some England caps in his locker, has he? Yeah, he's got a couple of England caps.
I was going to say, John, have a guess, but yeah, he does. Yeah. Yeah, he's
not bad. Yeah, he's.
Any lasting memories?
He was okay, wasn't he? He completely mediocre. Like, he didn't really have anything outstanding in his locker, but didn't really have. If I was to look at his stats in Football Manager, I'd say probably low double figures for everything.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. Yeah, I think that sums him up quite well. Average.
I think he may have scored one or two blooters in his time, like as left backs do. He kind of like the long range strikes, kind of Matty Taylor style. But if I could remember him, I would say. But no.
No, yeah, I can't remember any he scored. So the reason I picked Paul Konchesky is when I was chatting to a Liverpool friend, a Liverpool supporting friend of mine. Let's get the words out. And we were having this conversation around the poll we put out. Who is your weirdest transfer? He said Paul Konchesky for Liverpool. I
mean,
he was like, it was just so unnecessary.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think who they would have had in their side at the time that he would have been vying with. It was probably, it would have been.
I'll Google it. Let's have a Google. I'll Google it. So, so Liverpool in 2010.
2010. Yeah.
2010. Let's have a look. Liverpool 2010 FC season. First team. Left backs: Jake Robinson, Fabio Aurelio. Would have been
Aurelio, lovely little player.
That was his main competition. Oh God, they had Sitoris Kyriakos as well. Forgot about that.
Yeah, this is must be like David and Go up front, isn't it? And
David and Go, yeah, and Milan Jovanovic they had as well.
Oh man, this is the era where it was absolutely shocking for Liverpool. This is probably their bleakest era. I think it must have been Jermaine Pennant time as well, wouldn't it?
No, they had Joe Cole.
Joe Cole. You know, one of the worst players I remember seeing in the Premier League play for Liverpool was Antonio Nunes. I think it was a mate weight in the.
Yeah, he was. Torres, wasn't it?
No. Okay, no, it was a Real Madrid deal.
Yeah, it was.
Maybe like a Michael Owen deal.
Oh, no, it wasn't. I don't think it was Michael. It was after that, I think. But yes, he was. He
looked so out of depth. But that man was on the bench in their Champions League final win.
Wow. That is impressive.
It's much like Jonathan Greening having a Champions League winners medal being, but yeah.
Shocking. Yeah, so there you go. It was, Paul Konchesky. So another one that you've got very, very quickly. I did say I think you get this one quickly, but it was linked in to things that we've been discussing, which we can go on to now. So we'll start with weird transfers, because obviously in this transfer window, Kevin Prince Boateng has moved to Barcelona, which is weird.
And obviously I remember Kevin Prince Boateng reasonably well being a Spurs player previously. But the fun fact I've got for you now is that both Barcelona and Bayern have two sets of brothers playing we're split between the two sides. So do you know the players? So we obviously have Kevin Prince Boateng plays for Barcelona, and
Jerome plays for
Boateng plays for Bayern.
Yeah.
And then do you know the other brothers who are split by these two clubs?
No. I'd maybe say someone like Thiago, but I just don't know his brother. If he's got
Yes,
one.
it is. Yeah, it
Has
is
he got a
Thiago.
brother?
Yeah. Rafinha.
Oh, they're brothers. Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Nice. See, Josh, I did have
I think
Bayern have
got the best end of the deal. Bayern have got the best end of the deal, haven't they?
Yes, definitely.
Thiago and Jerome, yeah.
Yeah. That sounds like a really bad knockoff of Robson and Jerome. What are you singing today, Thiago and Jerome?
Yeah.
But yeah, he's had a really weird career, hasn't he?
Kevin
Really
Prince Boateng, yeah. He's played for. I mean, because when he was announced by Barca, they said they showed a couple of clips of goals he'd scored against them and said, "Now you've hurt us, now you help us," or something like that. And one of the goals he scored, I think it was for AC versus Barca, was phenomenal. And he did have a little bit in his locker, but it was more his mentality which really didn't kind of go hand in hand with a top level player.
My vivid memory, I have two vivid memories of Kevin Prince Boateng. One of them is how good he was for Portsmouth, because he was so good for them. He basically carried that team for a season. And when Ghana got to the World Cup semis, when Luis Suarez handled it on the line, and how good him and Asamoah Gyan were in that tournament. They're that's my two biggest memories I have of Kevin Prince Boateng.
Which is, the first one is funny because I liken Kevin Prince Boateng to Adel Taarabt, who obviously was at Spurs as well, attacking midfielder, who then went to QPR and absolutely carried them for a couple of seasons as well.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's thinking, I wish I could get signed by Barca.
You did say as well, you tweeted out to say, Barca have a pendant to signing ex-Spurs midfielders. So. Because
Taarabt was phenomenal. I absolutely love that guy. At QPR, he was doing absurd things with the ball. It was just unfair to the defence.
Yeah. But so that was a very weird thing. So we had a few of the listeners get in touch with us about things. But Josh, I want to ask, before I get into that, I want to ask you first. What's the weirdest signing for Spurs in your era of watching football?
So I had two I thought of. One was a player that you might remember as well because he played for United. But I mean, I'm questioning your football knowledge at the moment. Do you remember Zeki Friars?
I remember Zeki Friars. I've signed him for NK Zagreb in my football manager save.
Oh, nice!
Yeah.
And so he left United on a free and joined Standard Liège.
Fraser Campbell was part of that deal.
Fraser Campbell.
No, I'm thinking of something else. Sorry, I'm thinking of something else.
Oh, Dave, you're embarrassing yourself, mate.
I know.
Right, Fraser Campbell is a weird one. Fraser Campbell was the make weight in United signing Berbatov, and we got Fraser Campbell. It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
On
loan for a season. It's like, brilliant. But no, Zeki Friars, we wanted to sign him from United, but he just ended up leaving on a free and going to Standard Liège and played there for a few months, and then we signed him for a few million in the following January. And that reeks of us just trying to get out of paying some kind of
compensation
fees. Yeah. And even for us, he played some 7-8 games and then was sold to Crystal Palace. I think he now plays for Barnsley. So that was an odd one.
Yeah.
But then the I think more odd one is Bongani Khumalo. So this was the at the time centre back, South African captain.
Had a great World Cup, didn't he?
Yeah, and he was signed pre World Cup. It was a captain. It was just, and I think it was a bit of a marketing thing. Good World Cup. Never played for us. We was here for 4 years. He was loaned out 5 times, 0 league appearances. It's like we've just ruined that guy's career.
Yeah, that is weird. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
As a United fan, then yourself?
There's a few. I think one of the ones that I've always struck as odd was Jemba. Because I never really...
So good they named him twice.
Yeah, exactly. But I never really knew how they scouted him. I mean, the weirdest one is obviously Bebe.
That is definitely
to scout someone from the Homeless World Cup and then he's moved to the club already, and then before he's kicked a ball for the club he's just signed for, you pay them £7 million. and he was really not very good. I mean, shout out to him. He has forged a good career, a pretty decent career for himself now. But yeah, that's probably the weirdest one. It's probably Bebe. Yeah. We had a few comments as well. We had Andy Booth was a weird comment.
Spurs signed him on loan from Sheffield Wednesday to solve maybe we'll do it again to solve a striking crisis. And
what, you'll sign Andy Booth again?
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, he was piss poor. Basically, it was just a grade below of what we needed. I imagine David Pleat was probably involved in raising that transfer. Reeks of David Pleat, does that?
We had a great one from Lee Clegg, who listens in, saying obviously he's a Liverpool fan, and he said when we signed Stephen Coulker on loan and played him up front.
Yeah, Stephen Coulker. This is all Rosalie back to Spurs. So yeah, he was a hot prospect at Spurs at the time. Not the time of signing when we flogged him. He had a couple of Welsh stints. I think he was on loan at Swansea, then signed at Cardiff, and
went to QPR.
He had a QPR stint. Yeah, and that was an odd one. And I think he's had some mental health problems over the years. So I think he's because he really was a very good player, but it's a shame to see him not kind of reach his potential. But all the best to him.
And then Steve Day got in touch with us as well and said the strangest signings we had is when we Cardiff City had a strike partnership of Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank and Robbie Fowler, and we signed them in the same transfer window. That is weird.
Yeah, that is odd. It is odd.
Says, in terms of awfulness, it's actually Stephen Bywater, the goalkeeper. So
who is now the goalkeeper, or something? He must be a reserve goalkeeper at Burton, and so. It'd been nice if he had been the goalkeeper to concede 9 at Burton, but yeah, Stephen Bywater. I don't know. Do any fans remember Stephen Bywater fondly? I'm not sure they do.
It's a good question.
Derby fan, West Ham, no. But he's been around the block, hasn't he? He's done a lot. But
I remember him as West Ham's backup goalkeeper, Stephen Bywater, and that's no one wants to be remembered as West Ham's backup goalkeeper.
No, I remember him being an fella.
Yeah, but
some of the ones I wanted to shout out for, it was when Arsenal signed FM favourite Kim Kallstrom. Signed him in January. He had a broken back. It was like, what are you doing, Arsenal? He did end up kind of. I think he made an FA Cup semi-final appearance, scored in a penalty shootout, but yeah, didn't play for like a couple of months. We have Marseille have got a bit of a penchant for this. Marseille have signed. I've got in the Premier League era. They've signed 3 British players. Do you want? Am I going to test you here, Dave? Do you
Joey Barton.
Yeah.
Oh, who else have they signed that's English? No, put me out of my misery. I've already got one quiz.
So they signed Stephen Fletcher and Tyrone Mears.
Stephen Fletcher. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one. I didn't know Tyrone Mears went there. Is that when he was on
Tyrone Mears was a bit odd.
Hype train?
Tyrone Mears was when I think he actually drove out there to force a move from Burnley, I think, or something. It's like, what are you doing?
Adem Wingy-esque.
Yeah, Adem Wingy-esque. The other one, which is the more kind of famous ones, was when West Ham United signed Tevez and Mascherano. I think everybody who had even opened up Football Manager once were like, these are really good players. Why are they? Why are they at West Ham?
Yeah.
I mean, what's even more confusing is Mascherano barely played. He went on to become one of the best players in his position.
Yeah, that is very strange. That is very, very strange. But there's something about a weird transfer in there that's great fun. It's just great fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah,
I mean, do you reckon players at the time think, "Oh, I'm a weird transfer"? Kevin Prince Boateng is thinking, "Oh, this is not right," or do you reckon? Because you always feel like footballers back themselves, don't they? Have that confidence themselves. They're like, "Yep, completely normal signing."
Yeah.
No, nothing wrong here.
Of course, I'm playing for Barcelona. What's it? Yeah.
Yeah. Julian Faubert on loan from West Ham to Real Madrid. Yeah, that is normal.
That is a normal career trajectory. I mean,
do you want to know how that happened?
Yes, I do.
Faubert. So Damien Comolli was because Juande Ramos was the manager at Real Madrid at the time, and he'd worked with Comolli at Spurs, and Comolli had recommended him to Juande Ramos. But the first choice player that Real Madrid actually wanted was Antonio Valencia.
All right.
So Comolli was second choice in that tale of 2 kind of, would you call them explosive wingers, wing backs? I don't know, but neither of them I'd say are Real Madrid quality. But yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Fauber to West to Real Madrid is up there. Probably at my
I mean,
top three, I'd say, for weird transfers.
yeah, I mean, he's most notorious. I mean, he played twice. I think he had something like 54 minutes in total, and he fell asleep on the bench once. So he didn't have the greatest. I mean, Jonathan Woodgate laughs at him for his Real Madrid career. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, bloody hell. Oh, okay, so have you got any others weird transfers? Have you got?
Yeah, I have. I've got more.
Go
Sol
for it.
Campbell to Notts County, 1 game.
Yep.
Yeah. Sven was managing Notts County. He complained about broken promises, but then he returns to Arsenal. He plays to Arsenal after that. It's like, what were you thinking, Sol?
Bloody hell.
Yeah, but I mean, now Macclesfield manager. Obviously, a little update on his Macclesfield career. I think he's played 10 or 11 games, won around 40% of them. So he's doing probably better than I thought actually. But who knows how the players are enjoying his managerial tenure. The last one I'd like to mention, which on paper looked weird, but I wasn't around as aware of the kind of world football players as I am now. But when Juninho joined Middlesbrough back in the day, I bet a lot of people thought, "Oh, that's fucking weird."
Yeah. Brazilian moving to the north of England.
Yeah. I mean, he was a Brazilian international. He was playing for Sao Paulo with Denilson and Serginho, and then he goes to the northeast. But all credit to him, absolute ledge up there, isn't he? I think he 2 or 3 times in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he started that trend of Brazilians to Middlesbrough. Followed suit with Emerson, Alves, Emerson Tome. Emerson Tome played for them. Oh, there was another central midfielder who I cannot remember for the life of me.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, Fabio Rochenbach.
Yeah. Fabio Rochenbach played for them, and played for Barca, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's a much lower level of Brazilian midfielder play for Borough, but yeah. I bet they get a bit of a culture shock when they go up to the northeast. It's not quite the beaches of Rio, but yeah, that is my list of weird transfers that have happened.
Okay, so we'll move from the weird of the list of weird transfers into actual all-day, everyday transfers that are happening at the moment.
Standard transfers, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Higuain deal has gone through. We put out a poll about it, and more people think he's going to be a success than a failure. What did you vote for?
I voted for failure.
Oh, so did I. So the listeners are against us.
Yeah, he's 31. He's always had a bit of a weight issue. He's moving to, obviously Italy's got his good food, but does it have the pies that England have? England has just experienced National Pie Day last week. Maybe he was here for it, I fear you missed it. But I'm wary. I think he's a little bit old. I think that Chelsea's side still adapting to a whole system, a new manager. Normally play, even though he's joining halfway through a season, I am wary for him.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Are there major transfers or transfers that you'd like to talk about, or even transfer news?
Frankie De Jong is signed for Barca, which because there's a rumour hit that was Barca or PSG. Did you hear the rumour of how they managed to convince him to go to Barca? Was that they showed him texts that Neymar had sent saying of Neymar going, "I want to move back to Barca." It's like, well, do you want to go to PSG? Because this guy went to PSG. He doesn't like it. But yeah, I mean, the kid looks like a real talent, and the potential that now transfer now opens up is that Rabiot may be available for someone else because Barca probably don't need him as well. And I'm thinking maybe Spurs want to get him, but
Frankie De Jong doesn't move, does he, until the summer?
No, but when you look at the squad overall, obviously come next year, do they actually need that many kind of central midfielders?
Yeah, true.
It's not a Pep Guardiola Barca now. I don't need 10 central midfielders.
No, very true, very true. So a few just transfers that have happened that are a bit slightly weird that have caught my eye. Cedric Soares moved to Inter Milan on loan from Southampton. Very strange to see it going from Southampton to Inter on loan.
Yeah.
They needed a right back quite desperately because Verschalko has died. I don't know what he's done.
He's
but
been very injury prone this season. Yeah, and he's not been anywhere near at the level he was in the World Cup. But I've always quite liked Cedric Soares. I think he's a decent player, quite quick. He's just kind of he's a good fullback. So I think I think if we'd wanted out a little while, obviously, I think won the Euros with Portugal, and I think he kind of felt he could achieve better things than Southampton, and Southampton haven't been using Valani at right back. So I think that's. Yeah. It's just weird to see a transfer from Southampton to Inter. I think
that's what I find
the issue there, isn't it?
Yeah. And then Bordeaux, who are obviously doing all right in the French First Division, have signed Sunderland's top goal scorer.
They have, haven't they? Yeah. We've been linked with a few clubs, but it wasn't even for an exorbitant amount of money, was it? It's like Sunderland don't know how to sell players for profit, do they?
That was very noticeable if you've watched the Sunderland documentary on Netflix.
I've watched the first couple of episodes, but I remember it a few seasons back when it was like you've literally only sold, I think, like Jordan Henderson and Simon Mignolet for anywhere near a profit. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But rumour has it like I think a few Premier League clubs will be watching that and potentially bring him back. But and then not often you go from Sunderland to a. It ties in quite nicely actually to. I was tweeting earlier week because last Sunday I watched the Lyon versus I want to say Nantes game. Can't remember exactly, but I just started looking at the squads and I was like, how many ex-Newcastle and Sunderland players are here? It was absurd, and I worked out that approximately half of Ligue 1 have players who have played for Newcastle or Sunderland, which is just
crazy.
A bit of a yeah.
That's really bizarre.
But I mean, Newcastle went through that phase, didn't they, where they just signed French players.
Yeah, they got Thauvin.
And it worked out for them all right.
People like that, yeah.
Well, no, before that it worked a bit better for them, like when they had Kabais and players of that ilk. But then it kind of went a bit tits up for them.
Yeah.
But staying in France, we have Balotelli to Marseille.
Yeah. I mean, another club.
The enigma.
At his career.
The enigma. Previous 2 seasons at Nice, he'd scored 15 goals, 18 goals. This year, he'd scored 0 goals. Yeah. Something was on that guy's mind.
Yeah.
Old Marseille, and again, continuing what we mentioned earlier, signing players who are hard to. I mean, they got Balotelli and Payet in the same side. It could be a match made in heaven, or it could be an absolute shit show.
Yeah, it very, very well could be. There is. Yeah. John Obi Mikel is back in England. Did you know that?
Back in England, yes, he is. Yeah,
Middlesbrough up in
obviously
the north again.
Part of a transfer tussle between United and Chelsea back in the day, wasn't it?
That was weird. Yeah, that was weird. The fact that Man United got like 18 million for him without he never actually signed for us. So weird.
Yeah, very strange. But he was okay, wasn't he, John Obi Mikel? I remember a lot of Nigeria fans always complained that Chelsea ruined him, made him so defensive. He was meant to be a kind of number 10 and ended up being a holding midfielder. Yeah. But
under Mourinho,
but no, yeah,
I think,
yeah, who'd have thought it?
Yeah.
Another Chelsea link. We have Victor Moses has gone to Fenerbahce. Relegation struggling Fenerbahce.
I know. I saw that. It's all very strange in Turkey, and I've always been. I always thought Victor Moses was a bit underrated. I quite liked him as a player.
I agree. Yeah.
Always hard working. Always put a shift in. Had that really good season under Conte where he played as a right wing back.
Yeah, right wing back. That is his position because he's kind of not got the greatest end product, but works very hard but isn't solid enough defensively to be a fullback. So he does need to get that kind of either go to a lesser league and play right wing, or right back because you can kind of cope with both. Or if you want to play top level, you're stuck in the right wing back position. But we mentioned it earlier in the season when Sarri came in and we knew that he wasn't going to be playing wing backs. We're like, Victor Moses' days are numbered. But yeah, I'm not against Victor Moses. I don't like him for when he dived against Spurs in the cup semi-final a couple of years back. But no, decent player.
Yeah.
Do you have a if you had to force you down the who is your favourite Turkish side? Probably the one of the three Istanbul sides. Is it Fenerbahce? Is it Besiktas? Is it Galatasaray? Who you siding with?
That is tough. I know in situations like this, I always go with players that I like to watch and who have played for them in the past. But like Fenerbahce had Van Persie, Galatasaray had Wesley Sneijder. I could probably rule Besiktas out. Bebe played for Besiktas, so.
Oh my goodness! Well, it's done deal, isn't it?
Galatasaray, I think. You know, the whole Graham Souness mental thing. I don't know.
Yeah, mate. No, I'd probably go for Galatasaray. I've had some. Yeah, I think they were probably the most successful side over the years, and so you're kind of drawn to that, aren't you?
Was it Hakan Şükür that used to play for Galatasaray?
Hakan Şükür, yeah.
I think, yeah.
So,
probably
Gala. Taffarel in goal.
Yeah.
Remember Taffarel?
I do, yeah. I remember when Galatasaray were quite big on, it must have been Champ Manager at the time, and they had a lot of good players that you could buy quite cheap. So, yeah, probably Galatasaray, if you had to push me, if you're pushing me down the tunnel. I'd go down the Galatasaray tunnel and come out in a nice soft bed because I picked the right team.
Oh, right. I thought you were going to try and name the colours of their strip was coming out nice red and orange, burgundy. Yeah.
I should have done that. That would have been a much better ending.
No, well,
yeah.
You know,
anyway, back to
transfers
news. Yeah, cheers, Josh. Thanks for that tangent. I've got two major things that I want to discuss briefly. One is, I'll go with Arnautovic first. Like the whole, we talked about this very quickly before we started recording, and the whole, I've got a bid from China, I want to go. We've retracted our bid from China, I want to stay here, have a new contract. It's just so bizarre. Was it all just rumours? Was it all just nonsense to try and make something happen? And because, what's your take on it? Because Arnautovic, this bid happened. That was pretty concrete. The bid happened.
Yeah.
And then the club said, "You're not leaving. We're not selling you." Then he came out, or his agent came out and said, "Well, we want to leave. Like, this is not to leave." And then West Ham said, "Fine, you're gonna leave." And then the China bid got retracted, and Arnautovic is like, "Well, no, I want to stay." And then West Ham have gone, "Yeah, right, have a new contract." It's like, it's so. I just can't get my head around it. It hurts, Josh. It hurts to think about it.
Yeah, I feel like he's just played you. As you being West Ham, I think he's absolutely played them.
Yeah. I think.
Intention of going to China. I think he had every intention of trying to get a better deal, and he's got it. And
yeah. Do you think West Ham are also trying to get more money from maybe a different club, someone in the Premier League or something, or do you think they were sticking by their guns and saying?
I wouldn't classify West Ham as naive, and they're probably trying to make a buck of it as well. But I think ultimately, Arnautovic held the cards and came up trumps. Really, he played them.
Yeah,
he wants to leave, won't leave. Signs, yeah. And he's a good player, but he's always had that kind of element of kind of mercenary about him. That he goes to a pay packet. I mean, not many players go to Stoke because they love Stoke.
Yeah, true. Very true. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about is, and we mentioned it, I think it might have been last week's podcast or the week before, Hudson-Odoi. That's taken a new twist, isn't it? Transfer request.
Yeah, go on, Hudson-Odoi.
Yeah, we did mention last week that you would encourage him to go and flaunt his skills in Germany. And it's he clearly listens to the podcast. What can you say? He clearly listens to the podcast.
Hello, Callum.
If you're listening, then come on an episode and we'll get you on with Stuart Taylor.
We will give you the exclusive. You can have a whole show dedicated to yourself, Callum, around your move to Bayern, and we can both fly out there.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll visit you around October time. I can relive my stag do, and we'll have a bit of Oktoberfest, and it's gonna be great. Look forward to it, Callum.
Yeah, cheers for organising it, Callum.
Love you.
Yeah,
love you.
Forward to hearing from you. I mean, it shows how much he wants to move, because I've recently learned how transfer requests make a difference in a transfer. Do you know this, Josh?
Go on, Dave.
So,
educate.
If a player is sold and they're not on the transfer list or haven't handed in a transfer request, the club have to pay them a loyalty fee. So as part of a contract, a player will say, if you sell me before a certain time, this is how much my loyalty fee is. So when they sign a contract for say 3 years and they ask for a £3 million loyalty fee, that'll be reduced £1 million every year of the contract. So if they sell him in his last year, the club pay him less. If a player voluntarily goes onto or hands in a transfer request or voluntarily goes on the transfer list, that negates that out of the contract. So the club no longer have to pay that loyalty fee.
It waives that fee.
It waives it. So there you go. That's why players requesting to go on the transfer list makes a big difference. So he's potentially costing Hudson-Odoi quite a large amount of money from Chelsea in a contract to say, I want to go on the transfer. I'm handing in a transfer request.
But the other side of this will be the buying club will go, look, if you want to move, put yourself on the list. We'll give. You might lose that million there, but we'll give you $1 million here. But it does force that issue. Yeah.
But there you go, a little bit of knowledge that I read about the other day. So.
Yeah. Interesting. And do you think in January is he going to have gone?
I think he will go. I think they'll sell him this month. Yeah. I think that could be on deadline day when everyone's like, it's deadline day, it's going to go mental. It won't. It will just be Hudson-Odoi moving for 40 million to Bayern Munich, which stupidly
the mental days of transfer windows have gone, haven't they?
Yeah, it has. I think it has gone, and I think clubs are now aware of deadline day. That's a stupid thing to say. Everyone's aware of it, but you know what I mean. They try, and all the clubs are trying to do business early on in the transfer window, and it's been very quiet so far. And I don't know. Can you see the transfer window lasting much longer, or do you think we'll go back to the days of free transfers? Not free transfers, but transfers at a free time throughout the year.
No, I don't think so, because it will just lead to the bigger clubs taking advantage of a situation like, I've got this big match coming up, I'm going to just try and spend money on this player out of favour, unsetting players throughout the season and things like that. No, I don't think it'll. I think it'll maintain. But what I would say is that we've all forgotten how the Premier League had the transfer window before the season started, and any ill effects of that have all been forgotten, haven't they?
Yeah, that is very true, actually. Yeah, that has all sort of been forgotten. Yeah, very, very true. Yeah, good point. Anything else in transfer news? I mean, I long to find out who
kind of low level one
is signing for. But
yeah. Oh God, that's a saga in itself. Every club kind of, do they want him? Don't they want him? I mean, the guy is a decent enough player, but he seems like he's pushing for his final contract. He's like 29. Seems like the agent's doing the Arnautovic deal, and like, someone wants him. Yeah. You're gonna offer a deal. The other one I wanted to mention was Crystal Palace have re-signed Bakary Sakho from West Brom on a short-term deal after letting him go in the summer. It's like, oh blimey, it is bleak. That's like, if Palace fans thought they were going to get a striker in January, I think that's about as good as it's getting.
Yeah, you could probably put that under the weird transfers. People that are, they're always weird, aren't they? People that are released on a free and then sign back for the old club. They're always a little bit weird, those sort of transfers. So, yeah, okay. I've got one question for you, Josh, and one question only. In fact, I want one answer only.
I do.
Thanks, mate. Oh, that's love. Listeners, live on air, you've heard it. Name one Spurs player that you hope your club sells this window. And it's hard for you because you've hardly got any players left, but...
No, I've got a few players in mind. I would say Vincent Janssen.
Okay, yep.
Because I want him to be free. I want him to... Nobody knows how high he can fly, alright? As Michael Scott once said, nobody knows how high I can fly. Yeah. But yeah, he deserves to just play. I don't know where he'd go to. He needs to go to a different country. I'd say a Schalke or a...
That's too high for him.
Mid-level.
He can't fly that high.
Too high for him?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
He's been... Didn't he go to Fenerbahce and completely...
He did go to Fenerbahce, and didn't really work out for him. Exactly. That's where Spurs strikers go to fail. Saldado's there, isn't he? And look how well they're doing.
But...
Yeah. Okay. What about United? Who would you like United to sell?
One of our millions of players out on loan that I never think is going to cut it, like Timothy Fosu-Mensah.
No,
I don't think we're ever going to cut it.
No, Fosu-Mensah, no, I don't mind him. No, what about a player currently performing, currently in your squad, who you go, right, you got to sell him, gone.
Fellaini.
Really?
Which I say with a.
I thought you loved him.
I do. I did like his effect. I don't love him. I did like his effectiveness, but I literally see no way he fits into this Ole Gunnar Solskjaer lineup right now. It's so fluid. He just does not fit in it at all, and I'd rather be like, well, if we are going to sell him,
I mentioned the other week, didn't I?
Yeah.
That you started playing more kind of fluid football. All players can move around the pitch well, and so you've dropped to your kind of your freaks, as it were, your slow players, your cumbersome players. They've come out the side.
Yeah, exactly. So I probably would say, I probably would say Fellaini right now. Maybe Valencia.
So how high can Fellaini fly?
Well, he's already taller than most people, so why do you want to fly?
Yeah. Well, where would you see him going to?
Actually, can I retract that? Because I've just thought of someone else.
Yeah.
I'll keep Fellaini, and I'll flog off Matteo Darmian because he's fucking awful.
There's that's another weird trend. Rumour of him going to Juve.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. In fact, I've thought of loads, Josh. Lee Grant. Marcus Rojo.
Think of your homegrown quota. Yeah, Rojo.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that all three of them, just sell them to Spurs. It's fine.
Never happened.
Which one of those three players would you have? If I held a gun to your head and you had to sign one of those three players for Spurs, which one would you sign? Marcus Rojo, Matteo Darmian, or Lee Grant?
He would sign Lee Grant. He can't do any damage. He's not going to play.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, very nice. All right. Cool. Yeah. Sorry, that's just a question I wanted to ask you.
On that bombshell, yeah.
Yeah. On that bombshell, quiz answers. It's the quiz answers time. And I've remembered the other team that won it because I was on holiday and I watched it. And it was Wigan against Man City.
Correct.
And Roberto Martinez was the manager.
And who scored the goal?
Ben Watson, the big ginger guy, the ginger head guy, scored a header.
Correct. That is 100% on one of the matches. You now have to complete the Portsmouth.
I have no idea.
Okay, so we have Portsmouth. We have Harry Redknapp. They played against a team currently in the Premier League who we don't...
Cardiff.
Yes. And the goal scorer is a man who defied age, who defied...
Nwankwo Kanu.
Defenders. Nwankwo Kanu, yes.
Your descriptions are amazing, Josh. I get them with you.
Thank you.
There we go. Okay, yeah. Portsmouth beat Cardiff. Were Cardiff in the Premier League at that time?
No, I don't think they were.
Oh, okay. Bloody hell. Yeah, good quiz in the end. When the Wigan one came to me, I was a bit happier with the quiz.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you had to get 2.
Because when you said the year, I was then thinking, what else happened in that year? And I was like, okay, so I'm pretty sure that's when Martinez left the Wigan job because they got relegated. And then I was like, they're the team that won the FA Cup whilst getting relegated. I was like, yes, got it.
Yeah. So back to the kind of the question and the answer then. So in the last 23 seasons, these two teams have won it outside of United, City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea. One was relegated and the other one essentially bankrupted themselves to win it. So don't go for the FA Cup, kids. It will ruin your club.
Yeah.
Leave it to the big boys.
Who's going to win it this year, Josh? Who's going to win it this year?
Spurs. Spurs are going to win it.
So there'll be a new name on the list then. And you're going to get bankrupted
or
no,
we're a big bang. This is Q Spurs getting knocked out by Palace when this podcast gets released. So I've shouted it right there, haven't I?
Yes, you have. Good quiz. A decent quiz, Josh. A decent quiz. I like it.
Oh, so. Good. Now it's decent. What's next? It was all right.
It was all right. Yeah, it was all right. What do you want?
Oh. Do better next time, I think.
Yeah, could try a bit harder. I'll say like okay. a solid B. Could try harder. So,
that's fair. I don't mind Bs.
Yeah. Well, that's it, folks. I think that's everything covered, Josh. Unless you've got anything else you want to discuss, very briefly.
That covers. AOB. Yeah, no. Meeting talk again. AOB. No, I'm good, thank you. As always in meeting. Right.
Yeah. No, just get this done.
I'm not a big one for AOB. I'd have mentioned it earlier. So yeah.
Exactly. So, well, if you think we've missed something out of this week's football, then let us know in the comments below, which are now available on SoundCloud as well. You can leave comments below if you're listening on SoundCloud. Josh is still, I think we haven't heard back about our next venture into a different branch of social media-ness.
No, not yet.
Not yet, so we'll
Pending.
keep that on centre hooks. Yeah, pending, nice. So we'll leave it there, but you can find us on social media. As mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, we are down, descriptions are down below, and you can find myself at Cultured F, you can find Josh at Cool J on Twitter, you can find us on Football Talk as the whole account, which we both run at Football Talk. But Josh,
See you later.
there's no A in football, you dickhead. That's what you're going to say. One day you'll get this right. You nailed it at the beginning of the show. You absolutely nailed
I
it.
did, yeah.
And then you can find us on YouTube and SoundCloud. So thank you very much for listening, everybody. Now, Josh, you can say your goodbyes.
Oh.
You're an idiot.
Oh,
right,
no.
we're gone. We're done. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll catch you all next week when we've got a packed schedule of review, because we'll have midweek games and weekend games to review. So
Oh my
very,
goodness.
very good. So hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend and you have a very good week, and we'll be chatting to you very soon. But for now, we're out. Cheers.